Welcome to the July the 27th, 1999 pre-taping of A Future History number 373 as we bring you the history of our wonderful city of Grand Prairie, Texas, and some of the people that have been important in creating that history for us. They're making history today, maybe in Grand Prairie, or maybe in Norway, or wherever. And we're very honored today to have a very special guest, because we have the class of 1959 that's going to be celebrating their 40th reunion of Grand Prairie High School. The Gophers are getting together again, and we're just so pleased to have with us Bjorg. At that time was Sorensen, and now she is Anderson. And welcome to the set, Bjorg.
Thank you.
We're very glad to have you back with us in Grand Prairie, Texas.
I'm honored to be here today.
Oh, yes. And we have, as the hostess with the mostest, that has brought Bjorg with us, that is, as a matter of fact, she's her house guest, a lady that was a long-time Grand Prairian before she deserted us and moved to Waxahachie, Texas, where she's a marvelous teacher in that area. Her name as a young lady was Ann Long, and she was the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Oscar Long, and related to our mayor, G.H. Turner, that was our mayor for 26 years, so she has a long line of history in Grand Prairie, Texas, but her name now is Mrs. Tooley. And so Ann Long Tooley, welcome to the set.
Thank you.
We're delighted to have you with us, my dear.
Well, I'm glad to be here and see one of my very best friend's mothers, because her daughter Xana was a very good friend.
Yes, that was back a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes, yes. When we go back to those classes, we don't like to talk about them
Correct.
very much, except in a wonderful way of memories. Isn't that great?
That's right.
All right. With your permission, we're going to get with Miss Bjorg and talk with her. But before we do, would you do us the honor, Ann Long Tooley, of picking up the 1959 yearbook, the Jeep yearbook of Grand Prairie High School, and on one of the center pages on your right-hand side, we have a picture of a gorgeous young lady that looks absolutely like a movie star, and that was Bjorg when she became our very first foreign exchange student for Grand Prairie High School. And we had only one high school at that time.
Correct.
In our
only
city.
One high school.
And isn't that wonderful? Isn't that, now look how, isn't that beautiful? Yes. Thank you, Ann, for doing us that honor, because we wanted everyone to see Bjorg back in the good old days, and back in 1959. And what an honor it was for you to be our first foreign exchange student.
I felt like that, so
yes.
too. Yes.
All right. Tell us about the real Bjorg, what you're doing now, and where you live, and your family. Anything that you want to say, and look right out into your camera. We're going to put you on for just as long as you would like to talk and to show us where you live with your postcards. Would you do that for us?
I come from Oslo. That was my birth city, the city where my mother still lives.
Let's get a real good.
And that is the capital of Norway.
Okay.
And Norway is a country very far to the north, and the capital has only 400,000 inhabitants.
Oh.
And the country has only 4.5 million inhabitants.
Yes.
And I lived there until I married and got a job.
All right, and that's Oslo.
And moved 45 minutes by car southwards to a community, a municipal, it's called Frogn, but this is the place where most people live, Drøbak, and it's by the sea, by the fjord.
Oh, by the sea.
Yeah,
oh, yes, beautiful.
And it is a little tourist place.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
And that's where you live now?
Just by it, 20 minutes by car north of this.
North of this, okay.
And then I work there and live there. My husband Leif and I have 5 children. They are grown-ups.
But you would name all 5 of your children.
Oh, a boy, Carl, he's 32 years old. He's an architect.
Good.
He has 2 beautiful girls.
And you would name your grandchildren?
Yeah, Andrea and Helena.
Oh, good.
Andrea, 9 years old, and Helena, 6 years old.
Okay.
And then Inger, she is a teacher like me.
All right.
And she and her husband Jens, they live in the north of Norway, in Tromsø. And that is the most, the city that lies most, what do you say? Farthest north of all the cities in the world.
Do they have children?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
And they have been on a motorbike trip to Italy this summer.
How wonderful.
Yes. And then I have another girl, Ellen, and she has taken the agricultural college, so she's working on farms.
Okay.
And she has a boyfriend,
Oh,
Kjell, and Kjell he is with us in our cottage, and on Christmas vacations he comes to our house. And then Tove, she is an interior architect. She's living with a man on the West Coast.
All right.
And she's stepmother of a nice boy, 9 years old, so I'm his grandma too.
All right, and his name?
Yes, Sondre.
Oh, good.
Sondre. And they live in a 70 feet long ship, making it into a home.
How wonderful.
Yes.
Isn't that intriguing?
Yes. And her man, he is a professional wooden boat builder.
Oh, great.
So they have made a 26 feet long boat. We took it across the mountains, and it is here now in Risør. There's where we have our cottage.
All right.
And all my family, they are here now when I'm here in Texas, and they are there.
They're getting to do the boats and doing all the good.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I miss them. I hope they miss
And is that
me.
your baby child, or do you have another?
No, I don't have any other. Yeah, well, Bernd. But don't forget Bernd. And he's 25 years old.
And
he still doesn't know what to be, what to become of him.
Yes.
But
yes.
he's studying and he's working, and someday he'll know.
He'll find his slot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And how wonderful, when you left Grand Prairie, Texas, after you had been here for a whole year, and you went back to Norway, what happened to Bjorg then? Had you finished school, or did you have to go back and finish high school?
Yeah, I had to. I had lost 1 year, you see, in Norway, but I had gained a lot here.
Yes.
And in Grand Prairie, I had been the queen, the one everybody wanted to talk to.
Yes, of course.
And that I would say that in Texas, you had taught the children to be interested in other people and to ask questions. I made my little speech of 10 minutes, and we could go on for 2 hours.
Yes.
Asking questions and me answering questions. But when I came back, they weren't so interested. No, not at all. So I was very disappointed.
Yes.
I was very disappointed.
You fell off of the throne, didn't
yes,
you?
I did.
Yes.
But I was asked to take responsibility, being leaders for different things, like a Christian society in our high school, senior high school. And I also led our senior year. We were preparing for having lots of fun the last weeks of senior high school. And then some of us wanted to have it in without much alcohol and different things. So we had our own parties, and I was the leader for the whole Oslo city.
Oh.
Yes, and we went on camps and visited places.
Yes.
So I got many friends in that period. And going to teachers' college, I also was a leader of the student body in the teacher college of Oslo.
All right.
So I took responsibility, and I had learned a lot in Grand Prairie of not being shy and you know, taking the word and
just taking the lead.
Yeah, taking the lead. Yes. So I had gained a lot that year by being, you know, very shy and not talking and And that's what I gained in Texas.
And
Yes.
going to teachers college, when you first went in, of course, you took the basics, but then what was your area of expertise you were working toward?
I was 2 years there, and then I took English as my special course for 2 years.
Yes.
And after that, I started teaching. And besides teaching, I went to the university 2 summer vacations to be a history teacher.
How great.
Yes, and then all the kids came and I was at home for 8 years, and then I started working again full time. And then after being 50 years old,
Yes.
and the kids out of their nest,
Yes.
I felt like now it's my turn again. So
Yes.
I took special education for 1 year, and then I was free from school 1 year. And then afterwards I was teaching again, and so for 2 years I've been going to university besides working.
Uh-huh.
And I got my 2nd year of special education and computer teaching.
Yes.
So I'm modern now.
Oh, yes. When you're computer literate,
yeah.
you're an edge
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, so,
Yes.
so we have many computers, and I'm ahead of that, and yeah, doing a lot of computer work.
And you love that.
Yes,
Yes.
it's a new experience, and it's fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And here you thought that you were just down the road, history and English and maybe special education, and now you've gone off into this other
Yeah.
field that's going to
Yeah.
expand your horizons.
But it has to do with special education too.
Yes, it does.
Yes, because
It
we use it a lot.
Yes.
So in Norwegian schools, they use computers first for special education.
They're the first
Yeah.
priority.
Yeah, yeah.
How wonderful. Yes.
So
So you're on the leading edge when you have that.
I'm going. You can. Many teachers they leave their job when they're 62. You can.
Yes.
But my husband, he's my principal.
Oh, how great.
And we have started studying, so we say we'll go on to 67. That's normal. But you
Yes.
can stay until 70.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
So, if we are,
If you're very healthy and everything goes well.
we want to.
Because think of the contribution you're making
Yeah,
to the boys
yeah.
and girls of Norway. Oh, that is just wonderful. Of all of these things that you've done in the teaching field, do you have any hobbies or anything that all right, tell us what your hobbies are.
Of course, sewing clothes, it was both a hobby and a necessity.
Yes, with kids.
Yeah.
With kids.
Yeah. So I did a lot of that, and I do some garden work, and for a hobby now, I'm a member of a historical association.
Oh, great.
So I'm doing a project on a Norwegian author who lived in our countryside and used places and persons in his books.
Yes.
So it's very interesting, yes.
Doing a lot of historical research.
I'm
aren't
writing
you?
on my computer.
Yes, all right. Now,
So-
let's get back to Grand Prairie, Texas. In your year that you were here, did you make some lasting friendships that you would like to bring to mind? And the people are still in Grand Prairie, and they met you at the airport the other day when you came in.
The
Were there-
committee, you know.
Yes, yes. Name
Yeah.
your committee of people that you have kept in touch with.
You see, 5 years ago, they had a reunion
Yes.
for 3 classes.
Yes.
And 59 was the youngest class. So,
Yes.
but that was after my school year had started.
Yes, so you
I-
didn't get to come.
No, I didn't. And but David Landers, he wrote me
Okay.
in 94, and he wrote me many letters, and so
That was a real good contact, wasn't
yeah.
it?
But I had, of course, been in contact with Anne's family for
Yes.
many years, and then there were some years we didn't keep contact. It's my fault.
No.
And now, in 94, we had little contact, and I had made 2 albums of my life, a contribution to that reunion, since I couldn't come.
Uh-huh.
And I made a speech on a cassette.
How great! You were
Yes.
there.
Yeah,
Yes.
and the Longs family, they took care of those 2 albums afterwards.
Yes.
And then when I got the invitation this spring, I got it in March. And I was thinking for 3 months. And then I said to my husband, I am going.
I've got to
yes,
go.
I will go. So no question. I'm going.
This is part of your historical research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, you can't know next 5 years what can happen.
Yes.
So I'm going. And of course, Norwegians do travel a lot.
Yes.
My husband and I, we haven't traveled so very much. We have been on Nordic exchange programs.
Yes.
I've been an exchange teacher in Sweden and Denmark.
All right.
And my husband is a politician, so we have been on those trips. Yes. And of course the children and all the community work, and our cottage takes time, you know, and the garden takes time. So.
Who was your favorite person in your class? Of all of the people that were very special, who was your home mother and the person you lived with when you were here in Grand Prairie? Your house mother.
I lived with Mary D. Mary D. Long.
Mary D. Long.
Yeah.
All right.
She's wonderful.
Yes.
She was my mother.
Yes.
And still is.
Yes.
And she took me around to places where I was going to make speeches.
To all the speeches.
Yes.
Oh yes. To all the clubs.
And she remembered every place more than I could. So
yes.
I visited her last night, and she showed me pictures from the papers. And refreshed my memory because she could remember more, and she was wonderful.
And you spent the whole year with the Longs.
Nearly. I was with another family first, but yeah.
And who was I think who she was asking was, who was your mentor for the AFS? Who was head of the AFS?
Mildred.
Mildred Walker.
Mildred Walker,
It has to be Mildred Walker. Okay, I knew we had to name drop Mildred Walker.
Yes.
We can't forget Mildred.
Oh, she's fantastic, and she's just the same.
Isn't she, though?
Yeah. And she was at the airport, and David was at the airport, and Anne and Robert was there. They were there. And Roy Swollenok,
yes,
he was there.
Yes,
and
from Arlington.
Cecil Lawrence,
yes,
he was there.
Well, several
and David's wife Elizabeth, she was taking pictures of us.
Great.
Yes.
Well,
and
several of us were invited to come, but I had a sister to pass away at that time, or I'd have been at the airport. Yes, I was looking forward to that. And how about your trip over?
Well, I reached the plane. You see, I have a problem with time. Yes, and my husband, he thinks it's terrible, so he wondered if I would get the plane, and I didn't have breakfast with him either. He had made some breakfast for me. I was eating in the car, and we got up there, and
you had a good trip over.
Yeah, so when we got in the plane, we had 1 hour on the airport inside the plane before going. And then I was sitting beside this American, and he said, "Oh, well, it's a long way you are going to Dallas, from Oslo to Minneapolis and to Dallas." Yes, I stayed for more than an hour in Minneapolis. It's so nice. Yeah, but it's a real nice trip. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed traveling and on my own.
Now you're here for the reunion, so you're going to have to tell us where is the reunion, what date the reunion will be, and anybody in our viewing audience that wants to come to the Grand Prairie High School 1959 class reunion.
Hurry up and call David Landers or Jim Brown.
Yeah, David Landers or Jim Brown. But what's the date?
The 7th. Of August will be the day, but we'll start already Friday night by registering at the Radisson, 3 p.m.
Okay.
And we're having a family picnic.
Oh, good.
10 a.m. On Saturday, and there will be the party in the night, and we are going to have to be together and leave at noon on Sunday.
On noon on Sunday. And are you going back to Norway at noon that day, or are you getting to stay a few days longer?
I stayed until the 12th of August.
Oh, how
Yes,
wonderful.
yes.
You're just really getting to visit. And that's going to be fun.
When first coming, I have to stay for a while.
Is this a sort of a sabbatical or a vacation for you this time? Are you going to go sightseeing? What you going to do while you're here?
I said to Anne that I just wanted to be here
and whatever comes down the
listen
pike.
and smell
Yes.
all those different smells, and
Yes.
to experience once more. And of course we go places.
Have you
Yes.
made a trip to the
Yeah.
high school?
Yes.
Has
we
it
were
changed?
inside. It's so big. We were inside and we just recognized the cafeteria.
Yes.
Half of it.
Yes. It's
But
amazing.
of course, the gopher bowl.
Yeah.
I took pictures of the gopher bowl.
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
And did you see the new Amos Turner stadium that we have there? That where
The
we have
baseball?
the basketball,
basketball.
the basketball court. Isn't that great? All
we
of that
must
is
have
fun.
another trip too.
You're going to have another trip and see all of Gopherland now. It really has.
Yeah.
And Mr. Buddy Berry is the principal now.
Yeah.
And a wonderful young man.
Yeah.
So, and your principal when you went was Mr. Tom Holly, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything else we want to mention about your class?
Yeah. You see, Sue Braden, she was my homeroom teacher.
Yes.
And since I was going to make speeches in the spring, she took good care of me.
She helped you.
Yeah, and she also inspired me to read poetry. I love poems. And so she inspired me to read one poem, The Land of Beginning Again, The Land of Beginning Again. And I had it on a competition in Denton.
You did?
And I was so proud I made a second prize.
Yes, how wonderful. Second place.
Yeah, and so it was strange to be in her speech class every day, and then Mr. Keel with the choir singing every day.
You had better mention Mr. Keel.
Yeah.
Oh, he will love it because you remembered his name today.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I had a history class. Then I have to have the book to look the names.
Yes.
And one man taught me to ride a car without a gear.
Without the gear shift?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was fun. And I also was in, well, I had library class, you know, work class, just
Study
hall, of
Yes,
course.
okay.
Yeah. Yes, I had that. And English with Lee Roy? No. what?
Miss Roy.
Miss Roy,
Miss Roy,
English.
uh-huh.
Miss Roy.
Yes.
So
And
I enjoyed that.
And it was a good year, wasn't it?
Really good.
Yes.
Really good.
Worth the
And-
investment of time.
Yeah, and there's many details different from Norway, because in Norway you have 10, 12, 13 subjects, and you don't have them every day.
Staggered
yeah,
schedules.
and that was, and in Norway you don't have your own small closet to put things either. And what's a
locker?
A locker. You don't have a locker. Yes. And there was lunch, warm food. We don't have that in school.
Yeah.
We just bring our lunch and we eat it in the classroom or outside, you know. Yeah. So.
Do you have athletics? Do you have athletics?
Yeah,
did you play any athletics here?
Everybody had to do that in Norwegian schools, and we have music, maybe 2 lessons a week to learn about composers. You listen to music and sing ourselves. And we have art lessons too, and we have handicraft, yeah. So it's so many different things.
What was the most fun that you had during your whole year in Grand Prairie, Texas? What was the highlight, really, of your trip to the United States? The most fun of anything, if you had one occasion.
It must be the Dude Ranch.
The Dude Ranch.
Yes,
okay.
on the senior day.
Senior day, you went to the Dude Ranch.
We had, of course, the breakfast in one of the churches in the morning.
Yes.
And the Dude Ranch, yes.
And where was the Dude Ranch? Out
out
in the country?
Yes.
Did you ride horses?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
yes,
you did?
Yeah. So that was very
You felt
nice.
like you were a real Texan by then.
I've been wanting to do that all year.
Yes.
So it was a bit late maybe. But we went skating in Dallas, in ice rinks indoors. And once I tried water skiing.
Yes.
I hadn't done that at home, but I had been skiing a lot, so I could keep balance for a little while.
And what was it like to have a mother that was so involved in foreign exchange students that they just brought a stranger into your home? Yes.
Well, I guess I had always wanted to have a sister. I had, I have a brother who is 6 years younger, and I have a sister who is 14 years younger than I. But she was like a real live doll.
You better name those two.
Oh, I better name those.
Yeah.
My brother is named Michael. He goes by Michael instead of Mike now, and he's an Episcopal priest.
Yes.
And lives in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico.
All right.
Which we love to go visit.
Yes.
And then my sister is named Susan.
All right.
And she is married. Her name is Susan Cantu. She lives in Midlothian, which is the next town over from Waxahachie.
From Waxahachie, yes.
So I see her, weekly. And anyway, we had our family, and I had always wanted to have a sister or a brother near my age. And so Björg came, and it was great. The hardest thing for both of us is to share a room. She didn't have to share a room in Norway because she was the only girl, and the boys shared a room. And I never shared a room, but we did, didn't we? And it was just great having Björg there and seeing our life through her eyes and learning from her.
And watching her develop.
Yes, yes. Because she was the quintessential Norwegian girl to me, and then she became also an American teenager too.
Yes, she did.
From her hair, when she arrived, she had braids, and she cut her hair short. And this picture, still her hair was long, and she wore it pulled back, but she cut it short. And I remember her going, when she was ready to go home, she was a little concerned of what her mother would say.
Yes.
But we just enjoyed doing all the things, going to the Dairy Queen, just having fun and going. I had this funny car. It was a Jeepster my daddy made me drive, and Björg thought that was funny. It was a convertible of sorts, and that's how we got to school and went places. And so we just had a good time. Yes.
Well, do you know what I remember from that car? Once we were in Dallas, and on the way home, it was a little sandstorm, and the sand came creeping in all those openings.
Open places.
Yeah.
We have a
that.
half minute only left on this show. Yeah. We could have done this for an hour or two, couldn't we? I want to thank you all both for bringing a memorable occasion back to us and rehashing history.
I want to thank the people of Grand Prairie, because you took so friendly. You were so friendly to me, and your kids were so polite and so caring. So they were very well bred up. What do you say? Breeded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was very happy that year. I only experienced very nice things. No bad things, only nice things.
Nice things.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much for being here. And this is Ruthie Jackson reminding you that history is as we live and do.
Thank you.